All right, so chapter 7. Chapter 7 was about third declension nouns, their agreement with first, second, usa, adjectives, and everything, incorporating them into everything we've learned so far. So getting into the exercises. So typical SAT process here, like we've been doing. Pick out your verbs. Right, those are only two. Pick out your nouns. And as you get more experience, it will be easier and easier to see these nouns. Some of these are provided in the chapter vocabulary as well. So lastly, see if we can pick out any adjectives. That's an adjective that ends, it's an usa that ends as, so we can guess that there's agreement there. Keep going. I'll go ahead and label this while we're going. It's an adverb, conjunction, preposition, adverb. All right. So we've pretty much broken down the sentence into its core parts. Now I'm going to do what you've seen me do before and divide it in half along the et, or the conjunction in the middle. So let's start with breaking down the left side. And like usual, let's start with the verb. So we have widebas, comes from video, widere, as you can see in the vocab that I've put on screen. So for widebas, we dropped the re of widere and added bas here. So if you look at your verb chart, whichever one you have, for me, in the middle left section, you'll see that if you drop the re and add bas, you find yourself in imperfect tense. Imperfect tense. And bas, if we lined it up there, gets us second person singular. Similar deal, we can go ahead and go to our nouns now. So literos. Literos comes from litera, literi. So now we're switching over to our declension chart, right? These are nouns. So litera, literi puts us in the first declension, so those far two left columns. We're looking for as as the ending. There's only one choice that we have there. Accusative, plural, feminine. Secundas being an usa is exactly that. Noun adjective agreement here. So secundas is also accusative, plural, feminine. Last noun of this side of the sentence is discipuli. Comes from discipula. Same deal, we're in the first declension. So there's a couple options that we have here. Genitive or dative singular, or nominative plural for the AE ending. We can go ahead and make a logic and get nominative plural out of the options, because what is our subject? Our subject is whatever the verb is based off of the number of our subject, right? And the person. We know that our subject is singular, right, from widebas, and we know that the discipuli to be nominative would have to be nominative plural, so we can knock that option out. And we'll hold for now on the genitive or dative determination. So we should be able to go ahead and start translating this side of the sentence. So, even though there's no to, the pronoun to, as in you, we can imply one, right? You what? You are doing? No, you were looking at, right? You were seeing, widebas. You were seeing adverb, right? Modifies a verb. Yesterday. Or yesterday you were seeing, however you want to write it. You were seeing yesterday, so that's the eri widibus out. What? The direct object, right? The direct object is literos, since it's accusative, right? So literos, the second letter, letter as in like a an envelope letter. So we take a literal letter, and letter plural works here. The second letter, and the last one is to stipuli. So we could say the second letter to the student, that would be dative, or we could say the second letter of the student, that would be genitive, possessive genitive. The genitive possessive is really the only one that makes any sense here. If we were to use it as an indirect object, we could also try the dative out as you were singing to the or for the on behalf of the student, their second letter. I don't think that really on behalf of doesn't really work out. To the student, it just doesn't make much grammatical sense. And its position next to literos also kind of implies that it's this possessive genitive. So the student's second letter, or of the student, their letter, it's their ownership. They wrote it or own it. So you were looking at it yesterday. Et and what did you do? Koditabos, exactly the same. We can go through the same exercise, but you'll find that you're in that same imperfect second person singular part of the verb chart. We have an adverb. We can skip that. And you were koditabosing. You were thinking about. You were thinking about day. That's our preposition. About what? De verbis, the words, their words, the students' words, right? And kind of adverbally, we can sub into them now. It's like then, or at that time. Then. If we wanted to fix this up, that's just kind of the rough translation. The nicer translation would be like this, right? Yesterday. You were looking and here I'll move this over. And were then thinking. What they said, right? Their words. So that's kind of the cleaned up version, right? So we have a rough cut and then a cleaned up version. All right. So on to number 2. Or sorry, not number 2, but number 3. So same process. Find our verbs in the sentence. There's one. There's another. Find our nouns. That's it, actually. That's the only nouns. Everything else I can label for you, but pretty much it's all adverbs. I guess known is an adverb. right? A modifying word, right? Not audibund. It's a negative, you know. So what do we have here? Well, we have audibund. Audibund coming from audio. Yeah. Audere, I'll assume. For now, don't worry about that semi-deponent part. But from what you know, it means to dare. So from what we've seen here, we have dropped the RE of the infinitive and added BUNT, right? So we're not imperfect this time. We're bunt and not bont. So that means we are actually future. So that's future. Third person. Plural. Easy, right? And then rimanere. Well, the RE is there, so are we like a conjugated verb? No. We are a infinitive, specifically a present infinitive, which should be the only one that you've heard of. So there's our two verbs. We'll skip all our adverbs for now. Our two nouns in the sentence, Rets and Regina. Well, is there anything special there? Nope. They're both nominative singular. Well, you might think to yourself, well, if they're both nominative singular, why do we have a plural verb? Are we... what's the deal there, you know? Well, they individually might be nominative singular, but it's Rets et Regina, right? Two people, two things, two subjects. So thus they get a plural verb. So we're in agreement, right? The Rets and Regina are doing the thing that audibund is talking about, or in this case, will do. So we'll go ahead and so I'll start with editor, actually. Editor, like you can see in your definitions down there, it just means to, actually I might not have it. It means therefore. So therefore, the subject, the Rats, the king, and Regina, queen. What are they doing? Well, they're not audibunting, they're non-audibunting. So they will not dare. Will not dare. Intend. Dare what? If I dare to dream, right? I need that to dream, the infinitive. So instead of to dream, it's rimanere, to remain. Will not dare to remain. And here you just kind of have to play around with where you're going to put your adverbs. So ibi means there, at that place. There. Cross, tomorrow. Right? To procrastinate is to put something off to tomorrow. All right. So yeah. So Rets is a third declension noun, right? Even though we didn't define it, really define what case it was in, because we knew it was nominative. It's a third declension noun. All right. So number 6 here. Move down. Maybe not that far down. All right. So same stat process. Find any verbs that you've got going on. It looks like we're pretty easy here. We just have sunt used twice, right? So sunt comes from sum, right? Sum est, sumus est sunt. So as third person, plural, present. No special forms of sum. The same for the other sum, right? They are. So who is our they? Well, let's underline our nouns. So corpora, animi is a noun, and sapientia is actually a noun. Okay. So let's look here. First, I'll identify our adjectives, just to help you out. So pretty much everything else that's left in the sentence is an adjective. And typical noun-adjective agreement, if we have an usa noun and we have a first, second declension noun, they will end the same, right? If they modify, right? We won't have a difference. Now, that's not true for an usa with a third declension noun, but we don't have any third declension nouns in the sentence. So this is an easy one. If they end the same, they likely agree in gender number case. So what do we have? Well, we have vestra with corpora, sana with corpora, plenty with animi. So now we've already identified where our noun adjective agreements are in the sentence, and there are several. So vestra means yours, as in you alls, right? Y'alls. Sana means healthy or sane, and plenty means full or satisfied. So we can go ahead and translate this. So we have sunt, we know we have a, well, actually no we can't. Let's break down corpora. So even though we know that they're agreeing, well, what case and are they? How are they being used? So corpora comes from corpus, corpus. Yeah, corpus. Comes from corpus corporis, right? Which is a third declension noun, even though it ends in us, right? It's still a third declension noun because it's corporis in the genitive. So I'll pull up our declension chart here. And from that, right, we go to our declension chart, we go to our third declension, and we're looking for corpora, not corporis. And in the parentheses is your neuters. So if we go through the A's, we have two options in the third declension column. We have nominative plural, and we have accusative plural. Both of which are neuter. Skipping along to our next noun, animi. There's some animus, animi. So, okay. So already when I say that from the dictionary, we know genitive singular is an option, but so is nominative plural because it's second declension. Hopefully you're following me. The last one sentence is sapientiae. It comes from sapientiae, first declension. So one of those where we have the three options, right, that we've seen before when we end in AE or nominative plural. Okay. So we have sunt as a verb in the sentence. Sunt is a linking verb, right? Not a transitive verb. There's no action being done when you say something is something, right? You just are. You are being. So there's no direct object taken by sunt. So we're not looking for accusatives in the sentence, right? We don't need accusative because nothing is receiving a sunt. You can't receive just being something. So that takes out the accusative option here for corpora. So we can say not the bodies, but your. I'll do it this way. Your alls, right? You plural. Bodies. Sunt are, right? They are. Sana, they are sana. Not really sane in this. Healthy is probably better. Robust. Are sana, et, and not. Now we switch subjects, right? So and animi sunt plenty, and et animi sunt plenty. So we're switching from the bodies and your alls, right, implied, and the minds. Or minds, spirits. I'll do spirits. Sunt are plenty. Actually, minds are plenty. If you're plentiful, you're full of things. So full And like I said, full of things, so full of. So we had to kind of pick out here, but full to wisdom, full of wisdom. The nominative plural doesn't really make any sense here. So full of wisdom. Right, we're not dative and we're not nominative plural. So, as you can see, as we get further, there are a little bit of leaps of logic that you're going to have to make based on experience and based on positions of words. That, or you'll have to try them out and see how the sentence comes out, and then see which one works better and make an inference off of that. So last one for chapter 7 here, which has several prepositions in it, which is nice. So same process, grab our verb, easy enough. Any other verbs? Nope. So now we just start underlining our nouns. A little bit more difficult here with these adjectives, but we actually have quite a few nouns here. Grab our prepositions, right? Prepositions are bounded by parentheses. We have two here, two prepositional phrases, right? And lastly, any obvious or out there noun-adjective agreement, right? That's the only one, multos with libros. So, standard first thing you do is do your verb. So, videbant, like we saw earlier with videbas. Instead, we dropped the RE and added videbant. So you can see on your verb chart here, again, middle left area, we are imperfect plural this time and third person this time. So they were, not you were. They were. So who is they in the sentence? We need to find something that's nominative. So let's start doing all of our nouns. So bellum comes from bellum, belly, neuter, second declension. It is in this prepositional phrase here with post. Post meaning after, right? Post is a preposition which takes the accusative for its object. So we have the preposition here. And we have the object of the preposition here. So we need an accusative object so we can kind of be clued in here. Does that match up with bellum? Well, we know it's second declension, so we go that second declension, neuter the parentheses values. We see in nominative singular, and we see in accusative singular. So yep, that works. Accusative singular neuter. And I'll go ahead and start translating this. So after post, after what? The bellum, the war, the conflict. After the war, now let's move on to our other nouns in this sentence. Libros comes from, like you can see there, liber, libri. That puts us in second declension. Os puts us with only one option. Accusative plural, masculine. Same thing for multos, right? Noun adjective agreement, meaning many or much. Again, we have a preposition here with day. We have the object. Day is one which takes ablative. So we have the object here. Ooh. So our preposition and our object of the preposition. So is this an ablative? Does that check out? Well, pace, comes from pax, which means peace. So that is a third declension noun from this chapter. So if we do that third declension, right? Patis, we can see, yep, that's a genitive singular, is. But here we have paque. Where's that at? Well, there's only one choice. That is ablative singular. Well, there's two choices, but vocative isn't really. There's no direct address happening in the sentence, right? So ablative singular. And then I believe feminine for the gender. So after the war, let's keep going. After the war, subject. We don't have any theys yet, so let's keep doing these nouns. See if we get something in nominative. So remedies. So if you go to the vocab that I've provided, you'll see it comes from remedium, remedii, which is a neuter second declension word. So we're looking for is. So we have two options here, dative / ablative plural. That's not nominative. We'll keep that as either one for now. Belly, we've seen bellum, so belly could be nominative plural, yeah. Or it could be genitive singular. Okay, so we can say, if we took that as a nominative plural, we would go after the war, the wars we're seeing, right? That doesn't, a war or conflict cannot see, right? It's not a person. So that doesn't really make any sense. So I think that gets rid of our option of nominative plural. So since we don't have any other things to take as a subject, we'll have to imply they. They were seeing, right? Because we're imperfect. What? They were seeing the direct object. What's an accusative? So the only thing that we have in accusative that's not part of a prepositional phrase in a sentence is libros, right? Multos libros. Libros meaning book, or books, many books. And now we just fill in. Many books de pace, about peace. De meaning about. Et, and. Remedies belly. So we know bellies don't have to be a genitive singular. So it's probably modifying remedies. And here's actually one where we may not have thought that this is part of a prepositional phrase, but actually the prepositional phrase extends to remedies. So this de is going to both pace and remedies. So it's an ablative plural. So about peace and about remedies, about the cures, the remediations. Right. The medicines belly of war, not to war, of war. And that's it.